Okay, we got Jim in here. 180 Perry. In here, Frank in here. W2SDR. And Bill, WA4DDH. So, good morning, Steve. Yeah, the Poconos. Just checking on the situation here. Okay. Wonder who's going to run the net today. So, 4:59 and 38 seconds. Go ahead, Steve. W2SDR in the group.
Break.
Good.
W4HWT calling.
Good morning. P13 more or less on the right frequency here. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Yeah, I hear everybody. Bill sound pretty good this morning. Morning to you, Jim, Perry, Frank, and oh boy, John. All of a sudden, I had a blank on that one. Yep, about the 32 degrees here, so I guess it's light rain outside. It wasn't raining out at 12 o'clock or something like that, but yeah, I guess it's going to rain sprinkles today, so who knows. Let's see what John has to say first, and then we'll start. I know if Glenn's here or anybody else is here. W4HWT in the group, KD3HT.
Okay, Steve. Good morning. KD3HT in the group. W4HWT here at John in North Carolina, returning. Copying everybody quite well this morning. Good, strong signals, and just everybody's coming through right steady carriers here. I just run the 610 here this morning and turned it on, and then heard Frank calling and talking to Bill, and thought I'd just hang on here, but I don't know whether, Steve, you're the official old military redneck control or not, but I'm going to turn it back to you, and it sounded like you might be, but I wasn't sure there, but copying everybody quite well here. KD3HT, W4HWT standing by.
There's no BDH, I'm still here.
Who is that?
Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel, Southeast Virginia.
Yeah, a little tough. Whiskey 1 Golf something, I guess, and I'll add you as well. And I know you were here earlier, I guess. Golf Whiskey Hotel. Can you say your call for me one more time? I apologize. Ears aren't awake yet.
Yeah, it's Brian here. Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel in the city of Chesapeake, Virginia, about maybe, 6 miles from the state line, guys.
Okay. Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel. Down in MD. Oh, good morning. All right, let's call the old military radio net. Calling the old military radio net. This net meets weekly on Saturday, starting at 0500 on or near 3885. This morning, I guess net control will be myself. Kilo Delta 3 Hotel Tango, name is Steve, located in northeast Pennsylvania near Stroudsburg, PA. Running this week ART-13, and band conditions seem to be positive for us this morning, and have a number of check-ins already, including W2SDR, WA4DDH, NAULN, W3MMR, W4HWT, and W1BDH. If there's anyone else that wishes to join us, please call at this time.
This is KD3HT. Okay, I got WA2EJT. Anyone else? And I thought there was one other carrier in there. So one more time, anyone else want to join the old military radio net? This is KD3HT. Call now.
November 1, Sierra, November Golf, N1SNG.
Good morning, Glenn. N1SNG. Are you hearing things well this morning, or you still have your noise?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I got the R398. Got the gain down, the limiter's on. I'm tuned off frequency. So there's a bit of noise in there, but if I can help you out with any relays or anything like that, I'll just chime in. But good morning to you, Steve. And just got down here in the shack, so I don't know who else is in here. But light copy. It's Rhode Island this morning. 40 degrees. Back to you, Steve.
Okay, sound real good down here, Glenn. All right, so everybody that's here basically knows, just, hey, let's have fun. So with that, let's go up to the top. We'll go Frank, W2SDR, Bill, WA4DDH, Jim, N8ULN, Perry, W3MMR, John, W4HWT, and I'm sorry, W1BDH, I'll have to get your name, Joe, WA2EJT, and Glenn, N1SNG. And back to me. So, Frank, go ahead. W2SDR in the old military radio net. Go ahead. KD3HT.
KD3HT. Old military radio net, W2SDR. Well, good morning, Steve. And we're pounding in here this morning. Very strong signal, 20-25 over at least. Glenn, you're about the same. Very good, very strong signal. This morning, band seems to be in terrific shape. Joe, good morning. WA2EJT. I don't think I've heard you in a while. You're coming through very well. Good morning and Happy New Year. The first one to say Happy New Year. Brian, W1BDH. I don't think I've heard you in a while, so it's good to hear you from down there in Chesapeake, Virginia this morning. John, W4HWT. Big signal as always up here. Sound really, really good this morning. Coffee tasting mighty good. Hope everyone's coffee's tasting as good as my coffee. Perry, W3MMR, nice signal. Here, sounding as good as usual. I believe you're on the DX100 this morning. Just a guess. Jim, 15 over to 20 over from Worcester. And last but not least, Bill, WA4DDH. About an S8 up here, but keeping your head above the water line there, Bill, that's what counts. So it's good to hear you here this morning. I'll keep her moving around. Down to Bill, WA4DDH in South Carolina. This is W2SDR and the old military radio net.
Delta Hotel. Good morning to all. We're going to make this one our last one in and out. It's about long for me this morning. I'm hearing everybody, but just above water. And there's a lot of fading here. Plus the warm temperature on the field. A little bit of feedback. It's good to hear everybody in here.
Okay, this is NAULN Jim in Worcester, Ohio, about 60 miles south of Cleveland. Running a 32 V2 Collins here and an R388 receiver. Antenna is an inverted V at about 40 feet. And like I said before, not too much going on. Haven't checked in for a couple of weeks, I guess. Figured I'd better get up this morning and see if everybody was still around. Harry, your signal came up here a little bit. But you and your dad there are the two strongest signals. And I think, Perry, I turn it over to you. I think that's the way it went in Freenet. I'm going to make this my one and only. I got some stuff I got to start taking care of here around the house today. So, W3NMR, I think that's the way it goes in the old military radio net. This is NAULN. 7-3, guys. Catch you later.
Yeah, 7-3, Jim. Hey, Steve, I apologize. Who do I send it to there, buddy?
No issue. John, W4HWT.
Gotcha, thanks, man. All right, good morning. This is W3MMR in the old military radio net. Great signals really all the way around. Everyone is well above the noise floor here. Bill, DDH, like my old man was saying, you got your head above water, man, but I got every word, so you're not down there yet. So good morning to you, Bill. It's always a pleasure to hear you, my friend. And good to hope you have a great weekend there. Yeah, great signals all the way around here, man. Just on the SDR this morning because I'm trying to. My son's here for vacation for the weekend. He's upstairs sleeping, and the boat anchor stuff's in the living room. So no boat anchor stuff here this morning. I didn't want to wake him up. So, but we're out here in the shack on the SDR this morning. So good morning to Glenn and 1SNG. And there's a bunch of check-ins, man. I didn't write everybody down, but Steve, thank you for running the net. I appreciate it, Glenn. Good to hear. Glad to hear you got your noise kind of subdued a little bit this morning. You got every noise blanker and notch, and you're using that R390A for all it's worth this morning, man. Well, fingers crossed that you get that taken care of, my friend. Anyway, we'll keep it moving here, make a short one, and send it down to you, John, and good signal up this way. We'll stick around probably for the remainder. W4HWT in the old military radio net. This is W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, W3MMR in the old military radio net. This is John, W4HWT, returning, copying everybody quite well, really. It's amazing. It's the first good propagation more than I've seen when I've been on in a long, long time here. So the gods of the ionosphere smiling down on us a little bit, at least at this QTH. The signals are some up and down, but not losing anybody. Joe was a little light, WA2EJT. I hope the signals will improve a little bit there, but we'll listen a little closer there too. But I think there might have been somebody else trying to check in too when he checked in, but I'm not sure. Anyway, running the usual BC610Es here and 614 speech amp and 390A receiver backed up by an HRO 60. So just kind of exercising some of the gear here this morning. I was just thinking the other day, if it wasn't for the military net, I probably wouldn't even need the BC610 here at all, to tell you the truth. Anyway, it's a nice big transmitter, and it does a beautiful job, and knock on wood, it's done a pretty reliable job over the years I've had it, and enjoy operating it very much. Anyway, copying Steve quite well, and good morning, Glenn, and sorry you had a line noise problem. I heard about that. I heard you comment on it a couple weeks back. We've got a problem with that now here. The Rural Electrification Company that I'm not on has built new construction and put the local power company, Duke Energy, that I have, on their new construction. And boy, that new construction they got must be cheap, sorry stuff. It's quite noisy, and their primary line is 14,000 volts, and it's leaking down everywhere. I think it's gotten quite noisy, and then on top of that, during the daytime, about a mile away, the bird would fly. This same Rural Electrification communication company has put in, or somebody, private company, put in a solar panel array about 5 or 6, 8 acres, 10 acres, I don't know, maybe even more than that. And it's extremely noisy. I'm about 1,500 feet off the highway where this primary line goes down the road. If you go out there with your automobile and turn on the AM broadcast band, as you drive down the road away from that thing, you have to go about 10 miles before you even start to where you can hear a broadcast signal basically anywhere on the band. It's terrible. I don't know how in the world they get away with this stuff, but they sure are. They're polluting the radio spectrum very badly. Well, enough of that. I'll get on down the road. Weather here is clear but foggy. I guess it's not clear if it's foggy, but the moon's out. It's pretty bright, so lighting up the fog, and we're expecting rain later on today. So with that, let me pass it on down to, I don't know, up to W1DVH or W1BDH at Bryan there in Chesapeake. I'll let him pick it up there. This is W4 HWT and the old military radio net standing by. Over.
All right, there. Just make sure my transmitter's still working. W4HWT, this is Brian. You got Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel down here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Don't get on AM too often. I spend a lot of time on 1993 or 160 lower side, 1500 watt. My usual bunch of idiots, as I call them. A lot of fun. I'm up there every night. Anyhow, see, what do I have here? I got a 7300 radio with a 250 watt carrier from a PW1 amp, 1kW PDP. I'm at a 160 dipole, which is about 90 feet up, fed by 450 ohm line. And I prefer single sideband, but like I said, I just tried this PW1 out on 80 meters just to see if it still works. I guess it does. I'm getting good reports and everything, so that's good. As far as I'm concerned, about me, I'm into AM stereo electronics. I absolutely love AM stereo broadcasts. Make PLL, phase lock loop, low-for transmitter designs, and that sort of thing. Independent sideband and Motorola Sequom. I know that pretty good. I deal with that a lot with my designs. Let's see what else here for the group. The first time I've been on here, really. I'm a staunch conservative, and my wife has cystic fibrosis, and I play the drums, and I used to fly airplanes, so that's about all I can think of right now. So whoever wants to jump in there next, go on ahead. You got Brian again, south end of the city at Chesapeake, Virginia, Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Go ahead, Joe. WA2EJT, KD3HT.
Let's hope the band is
Kilo Mike 4 X-Ray, Germany.
Yeah, WA2EJT N1SNG. Okay, very good morning to the group. I got a good signal from Frank and Jim Perry, of course. Morning, Perry. Glad everything's going well there. Maintaining some sort of radio silence in the house. And John, W4HWT, light copy. Brian, just about readable. Along with Joe. I just caught him on the last sign off there. But yeah, unfortunately, it's not a very good thing. I think I took it for granted. All the no noise type of environment here. But I got to follow up on it, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think anybody really cares. It's just the solar. There's no laws in place for them as far as interfering. There's nothing you can do. If you find out, yeah, it's up to you to figure it out. But they won't do anything for you. I'm just trying to get some local work done here. Just fact finding. Where's the noise coming from? That's all I want to know. And I myself here work on. We have a solar farm. It's probably I'd say a mile from here. It's about I think it's about 10 acres. And then we have the General Dynamics shipyard that's about 4 miles off. And then to the west I have the 300 million volt power lines going through. Whatever it is. I know the insulators are they're probably 6 feet in length. They just put in some sort of a power station up on top of this hill, about probably a mile and a half from here. That's where those power lines are feeding into. So I don't know what's going on up there. This stuff just shows up, So anyway, got to figure it out. Maybe go to an SDR setup or something. But got to get all my facts together. But the less interference I adjust for here, the less I hear the the voice communications also. So it's pretty rough. So we're trying to deal with that. Haven't given up yet. But anyway, we'll get it back to Steve. And I think there were some others trying to check in, Steve, at the end of the list there. So KD3HT and the old military radio net, N1SNG.
Yeah, I heard the W at the end. We'll get it to you in a second. KM4XG, go ahead and then turn it to the W station. We'll pick them up as well. Over.
Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike.
Yeah, okay. I forgot the net was on this morning. Good morning, fellas. KM4XG, just getting in here late. So, let me pass it quickly on to the W station. I'm not sure who it was. King Mike 4 X-Ray Golf, Herndon, Virginia.
November 1, X-Ray Zulu Whiskey. Shouldn't have done it so quick. My amp wasn't up to speed yet there, Jim. I just got down here a few minutes ago. In fact...
Oh, boy.
I'm not even on frequency. No wonder you only heard the W. Things haven't really warmed up yet. Anyway, Charlie up in Rhode Island, running the Ranger. And we're almost up to 150 watts, still climbing. Good morning, all. I wasn't going to bother checking in, and then I heard Jim, and I said, well, Jim checks in, I got to check in. Anyway, I'm late. I I went to bed early
and not paying attention.
Up too many times, but every time I was able to fall back to sleep. And by the time I got downstairs, my raccoons were waiting for me. I took care of them, made my coffee, and came down. Not much new here. Same old, same old. Just getting things warmed up, and we'll probably stick around for round 2, unless we have like a gazillion more check-ins. Glenn, that P line with the 6-foot insulators, those are the feed lines to the flux capacitor, don't you know? 1XZW. Back to you, Steve. KB3HT and 1XZW.
Okay, Charlie. Go ahead, Ed. K8EWM, KD3HT.
Hey, thank you, Steve, for acknowledging me. This is Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike, KDWM, North Kingsville, Ohio. Little adjustment here. Anyhow, probably the same morning here you guys are having. We got rain and spitting snow, 37 degrees here in North Kingsville. Hear everybody pretty well this morning. Not running anything vintage. Everything vintage is still in the basement after the move. Running a like 6500 and ACOM amp, about 125 watt carrier to a Cobra senior antenna, now up. Kind of a long story behind that, but it does allow me to get on 160, which is kind of nice. Not real well, but it gets me on 160. So, yeah, I just came to here 20 minutes ago, got the coffee going, and heard Perry and Frank and some others coming in real well here this morning. So I'll be here for a while, and I'll get it around. Back to you, Steve. Again, thanks for acknowledging me. Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike.
Yeah, good signal, Ed. Good signals all the way around. Everybody is quite readable this morning. Joe, you're well above the noise, so good signal from you. And even Bill was quite copyable on his 40 watts from South Carolina. So, yeah, well, I guess the topic du jour can come out as noise. If, hearing John that you're having issues there, Glenn's having his issues. Fortunately, I'm not here, but, who knows what's around the corner. And, yeah, it's a shame with those solar arrays that they're not using better converters that are quieter. And I know some people don't have any issues. Maybe it's installation as well, grounding or something. But you would think that interference should warrant some attention. But I don't know. Unless you're writing somebody's paycheck, it doesn't seem to matter. But so going down the list here, Frank, very strong. Bill was good and copyable. Jim, nice and strong. Good luck on the guitar amp, if that comes your way. Perry, good to hear your son's in town and going to enjoy some time with him. And a very good reason not to make the noise in the living room. And John, the 610 sounds good as usual. Nice strong signal up here from Snow Camp. And I'm still slowly dealing with mine. I should have done it last night, but I just didn't get to it, mucking around with just the plate contactor and stuff. I think that's all it's going to be, is just something not making contact and turning on the plate, whether it's that or the rectifiers. I doubt it would be both rectifiers, so yeah, we'll get there. I'm just taking my time. And Brian, sorry, I got the location wrong. Just waking up here, but Chesapeake, Virginia, nice signal up here. Very good on the background in stereo on AM. And sorry to hear about your wife. Hopefully she's doing okay, but very good on drums and airplanes. A number of other airplaners on here, a lot of other musicians. I don't know. I dabble, I guess, with guitar. I don't want to say I play it. But on
Joe, good morning to you. ART-13 sounds good. Okay on the crap out there with the Q-Fiber, but old radios, man, these things are, just likely to do that. But it's amazing after all the years that they're still functional after 60-some years, and 80 years, and just amazing. The stuff's still working. And Glenn, very good signal here. Sounds very strong. I don't know if you're on the Ranger and the Thunderbolt, or you're on the ART-13 this morning, but very good, strong signal. And yeah, sorry to hear about your noise. I wouldn't expect much noise from the high voltage power line, and if there was noise, I think they'd want to know about it, because that's noise is loss, and you're hearing something off of that, it's probably a lot of loss. So, but you have to know who it is and deal with that. And then Jim, KM4XG, beautiful signal, very nice and strong, great audio up here in the Poconos. And Charlie, okay on the feeding the raccoons already and such, and yeah, who knows, maybe it is a flux capacitor or a Stargate or something like that making all this noise. And Ed, I didn't know you moved, but your signal's been as strong as always, so I guess you're local to where you were, but good signal here, and good to have you. So with that, let's see if anyone else wants to join the old military radio net, just general discussion, and any interest in military radio, let us know. So with that, any other stations willing to check in, please call now. It's KD3HT.
Alpha Juliet 1 Golf, Alpha Juliet 1 Golf.
All right, Alpha Juliet 1 Golf. Go ahead, Chris, make one, and we'll start at the top again.
Okay, very good, Steve. Good morning, everybody. Happy Christmas season here, holiday season. We're down to a week. I guess I'll say Merry Christmas, everybody. Now I don't know if we're going to have a net next week, but it will be Christmas morning, and I don't know where I'm even going to be. Might not even be here. So Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good Christmas season. Very, very good. Yeah, we're a Christmas present here. Very good band conditions, and the band hasn't folded it up its tent and crept away after a good start. So hopefully things will hang together. On the DX100 this morning, Steve, thanks for taking the net. You got a great signal and a great location for doing that. Just like Ted had down there, kind of centrally located to get the guys from down south and out west and up here in New England. So thank you, and Glenn, we feel for you. I've just been corresponding with a buddy of mine up in Sudbury, Mass, Steve, KL7JT. He's got a new situation with noise going on like you, and he's, getting frustrated about it. Anyhow, I was not here last week because I was in the process of heading up to the Connecticut Vintage Radio and Communications Museum, and was part of the effort there to put the AWA's 1 BCG replica transmitter on the air, not without a lot of unexpected excitement, I guess you might call it. It was somewhat more or less chaos, which was a quote of one of the original operators when they were first getting on 100 years ago. I got up there, and I had brought up 15 radials from my vertical antenna system here to add to the 12 they had for an inverted L that Larry WA1LGQ put up, and we were out there in a pouring rain putting the radials down. In the meantime, the AWA brought their transmitter in, which had been tested prior to leaving the museum in Bloomfield. It was working fine. And while we were laying the radials down, they powered up the power supply for the transmitter, and the smoke came out. So that was that. We ended up stealing a power out of a SB220 Heathkit linear for the high voltage. Actually, the only voltage for the transmitter. It's all powered off of like 2,500 volts. pair of UV204s in 204As, I guess they were, in MOPA, Master Oscillator Power Amplifier. And it lots of arcs and sparks and burnt up components that we had to rob parts out of old broadcast transmitters for to get it going again. But in the end, we successfully were heard across the pond and quite strong locally. If you knew where to find us, we were all over the band. Every time we changed a component, it was tough getting back on frequency. And we eventually ended up on 1809 kilohertz. We could barely bring it into the band. It would run below the band. But we made 2 successful transmissions of the message that was sent 100 years ago. We sent it at 0000 Zulu and 0015 Zulu, and then the thing broke and went down hard again. Blew a choke in the plate of the master oscillator, and we were kind of out of, we just gave up. Well, I'm not going to say we gave up. It was decided then to, it's not going to be easy to get this going again, so we packed things up. But we declared success. But it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of videos out on it. Mike K3FEF did a live stream for about 5 hours. That's available on his YouTube channel, K3FEF. And he also has another one about a half hour long, which was the sending of one of the messages. W1AW has one of them copying the message. So, and there's a bunch of stuff on 1bcg.org about the overall history of the transatlantic test and the anniversary. So that was a lot of fun. Everyone's coming in great. Brian, W1BDH, you might be interested to know that we have one of the few stations still broadcasting on the broadcast band in AM stereo, WBLQ. So if you're ever up this way and you have a stereo-capable receiver, you should be able to receive them just fine in stereo. They're Sequam stereo, as I recall. So I'll turn it back to you, Steve, and I guess you go up to the top of the list. KD3HT in the old military radio net, AJ1G.
Zero, Victor United Whiskey. Kilowatt Zero, Victor United Whiskey. Over. Yep, gotcha. Anybody else? Carrier, no audio. Try again.
Yeah.
It's a double.
This is KK4RF.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Marty, KK4RF. Anybody else? Okay, let's go with that. Boy, I'm having problems with my memory this morning, so just not firing on all cylinders yet today. And I don't know what's going on here. But we'll make do. So K0VUW, why don't you take it, turn it to Marty. And then, Marty, you can turn it up to Frank. I think Frank's still there for at least one more W2SDR. And down to Perry, W3MMR. To John, W4HWT. Brian, W1BDH. Joe, WA2EJT. Glenn, N1SNG. Jim, KN4XG. Charlie, N1XZW. And Ed, K8EWM. And down to Chris, AJ1G, and back to me. So, why am I having problems this morning? K0VUW. I know your name, and it's just not popping in my brain. So go ahead and take it and turn it over to Marty. This is KD3HT. Over.
Okay, I think it's over to K0VUW. Very good morning, everybody. Thanks for picking us up. Got to remember, we're 46 miles west-southwest of the Mississippi River, so I'm not receiving you guys as good as normal this morning, and there's a lot of static.
so I didn't get Marty's call. I think he said to turn it to Marty when I'm finished. He's real patient with us here. It's not another 300 or 400 miles west is a big difference right now, apparently. Anyway, hope you're copying here on the B6X10 Charlie that I redid. And put in a different receiver this morning with my SX28 on a SX100. I just liked the pretty little thing, and it hadn't been being used much. So I'm trying to copy you guys on that. Hi. Anyway, lots of wind, lots of storms, and everything else. Temperatures finally dropped. Starting cold enough that I went ahead and started wood-burning stove down here. In the 20s only this next week. Anyway, hope you guys are able to copy me through the noise and static. And right now the band's not as good as it has been. So, Marty, I missed your call. I apologize for that, but I believe you said Marty. And again, when the band's like this, just saying something once, static is very difficult for me here. Anyway, great to hear everybody. Merry Christmas to you all. I guess that's coming up on us very quickly. So hope you guys are all good boys and girls and don't get any cold in the socks. Although kids are probably so spoiled today they don't even know what cold in the socks is. But at any rate, over there to you, Marty. You take care. K0VUW.
Yeah, very good. K0VUW. This is KK4RF. The BC610C sounds good here. There is some noise on the frequency. But good morning to everybody on the net. The name here is Marty. Marty, short for Martin, for those who don't know me. And we're running an old LMAC transmitter, an old LMAC with a SB200 linear, so about 100 watts of carrier, and receiving with an old Heathkit SB300. So the usual lash up here. I just was curious what you guys are doing for the carbon microphones. If you guys are using carbon microphones with some of your old military equipment, or whether you've gone with some other arrangement. Just curious, because carbon microphones, a lot of them don't seem to work too well anymore, and I'm trying to come up with a microphone to use with a TCS transmitter, and I've got a circuit from Mike, WU2D, where he uses an Electret condenser microphone and a Darlington transistor setup. So that's what I'm probably going to build, but I just wanted to see if you guys had some opinions on how to come up with a replacement for a carbon microphone. So with that, I'll send it over to Frank, W2SDR, at the old military radio net. And again, good morning to everybody, everybody on frequency, good morning. And over to Frank, W2SDR, this is KK4RF.
Yeah, check me into N9WQ.
KK4RF. In the old military radio net, W2SDR. Good morning, Marty, and the other recent check-ins. Ed, EWM, big signal this way. Glenn, very strong, 20-25 over. Joe, EJT, about 10 over. Nice to hear you this morning. And I'm going to make this transmission my final transmission. Say 7-3 all around. You guys enjoy the rest of the net this morning. I think the band's in great condition this morning. Very low static levels and what have you. And unfortunately, just one more comment about the noise. You need specialized equipment to find that stuff. You're never going to find that type of noise Unfortunately, today with a transistor radio or something like that, that's not going to handle it. You need specialized receiving equipment, VHF, UHF equipment that has AM in it, and directional little Yagi hand-pointable antennas. And unfortunately, some of those receivers are pretty expensive. The receivers that'll be capable of AM up till maybe 1 gigahertz or so, you know. And MFJ makes some really good equipment for that, believe it or not. They make the Yagis, they make the noise receivers, they make parabolic audio dishes to really track down particular insulators and what have you. But unfortunately, today, most of it is not power line. It's consumer devices that are within someone's house. But you can track that down with those equipment, pin it down to the house. Perry has done it. And then knock on the door and, you know, say hi. You know, these people are not going to know these things. They buy these devices, you know, and they have no clue. And most people would be amicable to that, but you need specialized stuff to track this stuff down. You have to do it, you know, or else put up with the noise. There's no other way to do it. But the equipment is available out there, and so is the knowledge. The ARRL, even on their website, there's a wealth of information on there how you track this stuff down. So, but you know, have to do your homework with it and stuff. And I purchased this equipment. Perry and I have tracked down this noise. I have the equipment, but you have to invest in the proper test equipment, just like anything else in this hobby. You know, like you can't align a receiver without the proper equipment. So just track down noise is the same thing. It can be difficult and time-consuming. 7-3 all around. Enjoy the rest of the net, guys, and we'll catch you later. Over to you, Perry. W3MMR and the old military radio net, W2SVR. 7-3.
W2SDR. My match is moving around because it's pouring rain. W3MMR and the old Milrad net. Yeah, real good. Well, number one, before I forget to comment about the noise stuff. Yeah, I was kind of gonna say this, reiterate the same thing. It's funny. I should have figured he was gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, man, I bought a transistor, well, like a shortwave receiver with aircraft AM. The AM aircraft band on it, okay? It's got a signal strength meter on it and everything, and I thought that was going to be good. I spent like $50 on the thing on Amazon. I'm like, I don't want to make a big investment. Let me see if this will work for hunting down noise. And it got me within like 4 houses of where it was coming from, okay? But then, man, old man brought over, he's got this handheld Yagi, and there's MFJ cells. It's literally called a power line. It's called a power line noise meter, or like it's literally what it's called. And as soon as I hooked that to the Yagi, I was able to, man, to get like right to it, point right at the house, figured out which house it was coming from, went up, knocked on the door. Dude was really cool about it. Well, actually, I left a note first, and then the guy called me, and then I went over there. And the guy was super, super cool. And I had actually went to the ARRL website, and they have pamphlets that you can print out and give to people, like brochures, all types of stuff. They have stuff for your radio club, you know, to hand out for RFI. I mean, there's a ton of info on there on what to do and how to do it. And I found multiple sources. I found that, which was a bad power supply in my neighbors. I found a plasma TV. A plasma TV in my other neighbor's house. I ended up buying a new television. Then I found a bad telephone pole that had a bad ground around the corner from me, which causes RFI. And I took a picture of the pole number, had it all, like all my info ready to go when I contacted the power utility. Because when they come out there, they don't want to be like, you know, well, where's it coming from? Well, I think it's coming from over there. You know, if you have like all the info, pole number, this, that, I checked here, I checked there, those guys will be happy to come out again for you. You know what I mean? Because there's not many people calling for that anymore. The guy that I deal with my power utility says maybe once or twice a year he'd get a phone call anymore. Maybe. And I was one of the calls last year. So, yeah, man, Glenn, I hope you get it, man. I unfortunately don't think it's just going to go away. But, it just stinks, man. As soon as you retire, boom, power line noise. So, you'll get it, man. I know you will. You got plenty of determination and all that fun stuff. But really, the band's in fantastic shape. That's my old buzzer for the morning. Sorry to get on that soapbox there. Ed, good morning to you. K8EWM, sounding great. Maybe on the Anon this morning, but whatever you're on this morning, sounds fantastic. I've been kind of moving around here in the shack. Let me see here. All right, so we'll keep it moving. I send it to John, W4HWT, in the old military radio. Now, here comes John. You were 25 over last go-around. W4HWT in the old MILRAD-net. This is W3MMR.
Okay, W3MMR in the old military radio net. This is John, W4HWT, in North Carolina with new check-ins. Maybe can hear me, maybe not, but name is John. Juliet Oscar Hotel Door 1 and won the 610, BC 610 and 390A and HRO 60 and et cetera, And okay, Perry, on your noise problem, yeah, I had to go to the VHF range. I'd cobble together some stuff from an old cable TV receiver that was used years ago. It was going up in the UHF range, and fortunately it was AM and S meter and on the thing, and you could it was a not AGC on the thing, and I found me a 440 megahertz Yagi, and we tracked it down to a brand new switch had been put on the rural electrification line, and at 14,000 volts, and the insulator was breaking down on it. Something terrible. It was lighting up the whole neighborhood around here. When I say neighborhood, a 4 or 5 mile radius around here. It was terrible, and I asked people along the road, this is a rural environment, that they ever listen to AM broadcasts, and they said, well, we had to stop because it got so noisy they couldn't hear anything. But it was a terrible arc, and the electrical company came out with their stuff, and they thought it was somewhere else, and I said, no, it's right up here on this pole, and I had the acoustic thing, and they finally agreed to it, but now since they've moved this line around to near us now, it's a lot of other small places that all add up, but it's gotten quite noisy. And of course, it's also piping that solar panel array right down our road, and it's cross coupling into our single phase power line that's right under it on all new construction too. It's amazing that this rural electrification company, whatever hardware they're using is terrible. It's just lit up everything, and of course they're 14,400 or something like that in that primary 3-phase, and then they put the solar panels on it too. It's just, but since I moved here about 30 years ago, Glenn, it's like in the wintertime like this, there's no noise, no static from a thunderstorm. The noise level would be about S1 to 2 at the most. In the daytime it'd be 0. Now it's S9 all the time. S9 all the time. Well, enough of that. I'll keep on moving down the line, and appreciate you calling it out there, Steve. You're coming in good down here, and hope everything's going to suit you up there. I don't know whether you ever got that Helicrafters transmitter. I forgot what HT number it was. There's a roller inductor in the thing, and I don't know what kind of final tube, maybe a 4D32 or something like that. It's probably about the same time the Viking 2s came out, I reckon. Anyway, I wonder if you ever got that going. I remember I always seeing pictures of that thing. I often wondered what it would look like in real life, but it's probably a pretty good-sized transmitter. With that, I'll keep it moving on down the line. W1 BDH, I believe, in Chesapeake. W4HWT and the old military radio net standing by. Over.
Yeah, W4HWT, man. Getting a little tired here. I'm going to call it quits here in a few minutes. Just getting past my bedtime. I just wanted to jump in and say hey to everyone. Yeah, real quick on the AM stereo stuff. I use the SRF A100 multi-system receiver. It's a Sony. I love that thing. I've got many of them, actually, to be honest with you. And I've got 2 Con ISB off-air D-mods. And I'm pro Con independent sideband. Sequom sucks, by the way. I do not like it at all, although my exciter will do that too by flipping a couple circuits around. Anyway, I've run my own Con, low power station for a long time now, experimentation, and I'm getting everything right, and been building exciters for quite a while. I got a new design I'm working on using a phase modulator frequency doubling circuit to increase the L-R shift to about 2 radians, which will increase the separation a little bit. Anyway, it's professionally designed and built, 600 ohm, balanced in and out, 15 and 25 hertz pilot. And the sideband separation from lower side to upper side and vice versa is about 32 dB. So that's nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty damn good. It comes with L-R delay of about 120 microseconds that you can switch in to whatever you need. Anyway, I'm not going to bore all you guys. When you guys were saying you had a Sequom station you knew of, well, anyway, ISB, that's my cup of tea. Anyhow, good talking to everyone out there tonight. Again, I'm getting a little tired and running off at the mouth. I'll try to step in here more often. It's been... Daggum, what was that? Anyway, okay. I think my push-to-talk button is not working. I gotta fix that. Anyhow, I will jump out of here, and I'll probably be out here one of these mornings soon. Good talking to everyone. Really been fun. Again, you got Brian down here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Whiskey 1 Bravo Delta Hotel 73's got
73, Brian. Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, Joe. WA2EJT, KD3HT.
Okay, Steve. KD3HT in the old military note. This is WA2EJT. A little bit better copy from that man from the station just before me, but I didn't get his call here actually. Just a couple of comments. It's great to have the band holding together for so long here. We never know quite well. We are often afraid of what to expect. I did some listening on the transatlantic test, but based on the QST piece, I tuned it up or down a couple of KCs from 1821 kilocycles, and didn't think about the fact that the rig of that vintage could be a lot further from that frequency, and so I never did actually hear anything. And let's see, I've been doing some long wave listening using my booth and a DC-453 receiver, and find it fascinating to listen down there to the non-directional beacons. And let's see, Christmas next week we'll be heading south for a good extended period, waiting for the flowers to come back up. So, well, I know I won't be around. And Marty, you mentioned microphones in the TCS. One of the field expedient things you could try would be the microphone out of an old, well, I think of it as a modern, but an old telephone. Those are touch microphones that will make a nice replacement. So something that you can find one of those phones easy enough to try. I see it's 0600. I'm going to hang in there until 0630. So let's see, I'll pass it along to Glenn, who's quite readable here, and that's it for this round from Edwell. Again, if it takes more than a half an hour, I will not be back, Steve. So, N1SNG, in the old military net, this is WA2JT, over.
WA2EJT, 10-1SNG, on the Ranger and the Thunderbolt this morning. All right, Joe. Well, good hearing you in here this morning, and have a very safe trip south, and enjoy your stay. I don't know if you will be close by to any communications gear, but hopefully you may have that luxury. And I believe you were prior to that you were, I guess, going down to Florida. I think you said Alligator Park or something, maybe years ago. But hey, in any case, you have a nice, a safe Christmas, and enjoy the warmer weather. And yeah, those flowers will be waiting for you when you return for sure. Yeah. And good morning to Charlie in the Charlie's Petting Zoo. Raccoons, squirrels, woodchucks. Yeah, Charlie's got them all. Yep. I'm surprised he hasn't started feeding the fish yet. Good morning, Charlie. And good morning to Jim KN4XG. Nice signal this morning. Joe is just starting to fade away a bit, and every time you try to pull the gain up here, you also bring in every other piece of crap out there, and it's really annoying. So I'm just right on the fringes here of being able to copy without the noise, and wherever that may be on the dials, that's where you got to leave it. So well, hopefully I can figure out what's going on. And it's very, very annoying. Yep. And John, W40WT, sounds like you did some homework down there when you were having your issues. I know they do sell some direction finding equipment. I think MFJ makes it, but of course once you go online now, I mean, you can go from the novice grade up to the extra grade. Spending thousands of dollars on this stuff, but I think a simple antenna maybe could pinpoint where this is coming from, unless it's the communications interference, something in the line. I know a lot of the communications lines in this area are wrapped around tree branches and stuff. It's just a no maintenance at all situation with the Verizon and whoever else is hanging their wires or optic fibers. So a lot of things to consider. But anyway, hopefully you can again figure this out here. Let me see. Not much going on today. Stacked wood yesterday. Got the first cord up on the racks. It was a beautiful day. It was like, I think it was 57 degrees. So just outside with a shirt and lots of sunshine. Just a fabulous day here. So looks like we might be getting some rain, and up north I guess they're going to get some snow. So that should be quite an event. I'll have to wait and see. I know the ski industry up there, the snow country, they're probably just down on the bare ground right now. I don't know, but in the high altitudes maybe they're making their own snow. But hey, in any case, it is the time of year for sure. So with that, we're going to get it over to Jim and see how things are going down his neck of the woods there. KN4XG, N1SNG. Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, N1SNG and the old military radio net. Good morning from KM4XG, and thank you to Steve, K3HT, for keeping all these cats herded properly. Very nice job. Hearing everyone very well this morning. Unlike like Glenn, have a very, very low noise level this morning, and I'm really enjoying that because usually I have quite a bit of noise. But running the latest high-tech, super-secret military technology here today, a homebrew acoustic psychoelectric transducer feeding a pair of Lufang Model 9 dimensional discontinuators, fed 720 degrees out of phase. They're being recombined by the fabulous Maxwell Mark 6 dual-port constant speed transmogrifier, developing a maximum displacement of 800 kilogram meters per second squared. That's all going to a Heaviside Model 12 4-element spatio-temporal redistributor at 0.5 furlongs AGL. So there you go. And this equipment is not only cutting edge, but it's so secret even the military doesn't know about it yet. So there you go. I've taken quite a risk by telling you guys about that, but I think we're okay here. Checking the weather, Washington Dulles International Airport, information Juliet at 0452, wind north at 5, visibility 10, 3300 overcast, temperature 49, dew point 29er, and altimeter 3013. ILS runway 10 in use. Report you have information Juliet. So there you go. Everyone's sounding wonderful this morning, and it's a pleasure to be here on the old military radio net. And I'll keep it moving here and pass it down to, let's see who gets it next. My good friend Charlie, so good to hear you this morning. N1XZW, here's KM4XG with the old military radio net.
Yes, this week the propagation gods have been smiling upon us. It's not, I have a horrible noise level here, similar to what Glenn has, but the signals have been so strong, I've been able to turn the sensitivity down to a point where the noise was absolutely tolerable, and here 99% of everybody out there, I think I heard everybody here this morning. A couple, were right in the noise, but I could still hear them. And there was a breaking station when Frank was called up. He wasn't acknowledged. I think it was a 4 call, and he was right at my noise, but I did hear to a degree, and I didn't hear anybody acknowledge him. So I'm guessing I may be the only one that heard him. That's wonderful for me to hear. And the whole, last 3 days, the propagation is held in there at night and been there early in the morning. If you're still listening there, Brian, good morning to you. Brian and I had some quality time about 4 o'clock in the morning one day this week. A nice half hour of bed at QSO with absolutely no noise or interruptions. It was perfect copy from here to Southeast Virginia. So that's the scoop up here in Central Rhode Island. And, Steve, I don't know if you went beyond me when you gave the order, because I was the end of the chain the last time, and then you took some breaking stations, and I don't know in which order you gave them. So I'm going to turn it back to you, and you can, pass it on to whomever was supposed to be next. N1XZW, and this is my final.
Okay, Charlie. Yeah, I got N9WQ, and next we'll go to Ed, KEWM, and Chris, and then back to me. So go ahead, Ed, KEWM, and the group KE3HT.
Yeah, let me get our frequency here. A little closer anyhow. Okay, real good. This is Kilo 8 Echo Whiskey Mike, and good signals all the way around. The only person I had trouble with was John, W4HWT, but I was able to pull him out real good. I didn't realize the topic was noise. Well, I have experience with that. I think we all do if you've done this long enough. QTH has always been in the city lots, 50 by 150 on top of each other, and I was always fortunate enough to be able to put up some sort of an antenna And it seemed for the longest time, in the 70s and 80s, except for occasional power line noise, you didn't really hear much about noise. But recently, the past 15 years or so, it's really become something. And you hear about guys talking about their noise all the time, and you feel bad for them. You really do. But boy, when it happens to you, like it did at my previous QTH, a very, very strong interference. And I had everybody out, eliminating company, cable above, telephone, and they're all pointing fingers at each other, and it turned out to be mostly coming from a neighbor, of course. And I'm not going to stereotype, it's a neighbor in the city with 8 dogs, 5 cars, 1 license plate, and when approached by the illuminating company, the quote was, "They are happy if they are screwing with somebody." So, and I had neighbors in the back and on the other side the same way. So I saw where that was going, and I made this move out here, which is something I probably should have done a long time ago. Not way out in the country or anything, but have some room, elbow room for antennas, and it's just a lot better. I think I'm even a different person out here. But anyhow, I don't have a boat anchor vintage station assembled right now. Everything's in the basement, but I think when that does happen, it's going to either be my AF67 or my Ranger paired with the Collins R390A that I acquired a number of years ago from a good friend and great ham, Roy, K8VWX. I don't know if you guys ever had the good fortune of speaking with Roy, but you'd remember him. Just a heck of a guy. So 37 degrees here in North Kingsville, Ohio. Good morning to you, Perry. Boy, you're coming in here like 3 acres of garlic. And before I give it over to whomever, can somebody decode what Jim KM4XG's equipment was? Hi. Back to you, Steve. I don't know who gets it next. Kilowatt 8 Echo Whiskey Mike, North Kingsville, Ohio.
Good morning, K0 Sugar Fox.
Okay, I hear Yankee Romeo and Sugar Fox. I'll add you guys to the list. And yeah, Jim does that pretty good. I don't know if he's got it written down or it's encoded into his transmogrifier, and I don't know. I think the phase is a little bit off because I'm hearing somewhat of the next dimension coming through there. All right, let's see. Back to you, Chris, and then I'm gonna start it again. AJ1G and the old military radio net, KD3HT.
Okay, Steve, KD3HT and the old military radio net, AJ1G. Boy, amazingly good and consistent propagation this morning. Merry Christmas from the Heaviside layer to us here. Absolutely fabulous signals all around. Yeah, I was smiling listening at KM4XG's equipment there. Yeah, I agree. The phase is a little on the leading side, I would say. You may want to retard that just a little bit. So on the subject of esoteric radio transmissions, just recalled that the SAQ Alexanderson alternator, all several tons of it, will be spinning away, making CW on 17.2 kilohertz Christmas Eve morning. Christmas Eve morning, they do their one of their periodic transmissions. They always do one on Christmas Eve morning. Just looking on the Alexanderson Association website, you can search on SAQ Grimeton and Alexanderson Association and get the information. They'll be on 17.2 kilohertz, transmitting CW. They'll be starting transmitter warm-up at 0730 UTC, which is 0230, very old dark 30 here in the East Coast, 0230 Eastern Time, Friday morning. Yes, it will be Friday morning. And that goes on for about half an hour. And their actual message, which is only a couple of minutes long, will commence at promptly at 0800 UTC or 0300. I'm going to try to receive them out here my plan is to try to put about a 200-foot beverage up on along the sand at a salt pond here, Quanaketag Salt Pond, at a state boat launch parking lot right adjacent to the state boat launch parking lot. I should be able to put it right on a bearing that they're very close to a bearing up towards Sweden, and hoping for the best on that. And the biggest concern will be low atmospheric noise. That's usually been the limiting thing. I've copied them a couple of times, even with just an 80-meter ham stick in some cases. If you get to a quiet location, you've got to be in a quiet location. But that's always a lot of fun to try to do, and I'm looking forward to that, even though the hour is going to be very early. The place is actually pretty good to go because there's always fishermen out there, although it's kind of not too many this time of year, and I will throw a fishing rod on a truck as a cover story for it. Anyhow, everyone again have a great week and a great Christmas, and maybe we'll see some of you on one way or the other here next week. Again, Steve, thanks for running a very smooth net. It's doing a great job there, and you got a great signal. So back to you, KD3HT in the old military radio net, AJ1G, Stonington, Connecticut, on a DX100.
Yeah, okay, Chris, real fine. And I'm just going to leave my frequency where it is. Yeah, very good all the way around. Again, good signals, and Gary, Marty, nice signals from you guys as well. So, you know, everybody is definitely doing okay. And Ed, yeah, it's certainly nicer, you know, in my opinion is much like yours. You're a different person without all the nonsense. People too close together just doesn't make for a lot of fun, you know. And yeah, I hear a lot of stuff about grow lights and stuff like that in the cities and causing lots of noise, and nobody lives at a place but it's making noise types of stuff, and no fun. But yeah, you would hope that you can do something with these solar arrays and solar farms, that somebody should be accountable for the noise. Those things, power supply should, or converters should meet Class B, you would think, but probably don't. All right, let's see if there's anyone else to join before I start with the new guys again. So I have N9WQ's been waiting for a while. A station ending in UR, I'll pick you up. And Steve, K0SF. Anybody else wish to join at this time? This is the old military radio net. Please call KD3HT.
WA1JUJ. And K3HVG. Sign me out. This is W4HWT. Would you please sign me out, over?
No, John, you can't leave.
Okay.
2D. November 2, Yankee Romeo.
Okay. I got you, Mike, UD, and I heard November Romeo in there. Anyone else?
K3HVG.
Alright. Uniform. Good morning, Steve.
And Jerry, I need your call again.
KE9U.
All right, thanks, Perry. I know I'm used to his old call, so it takes me a while, and I heard it right on the turnover, so KE9U. All right, one last call. Anyone else?
K3HVG.
Okay, I got Kevin Jeep. Anyone else?
Kilowatt, 1 kilowatt.
All right, that's who I was waiting for, Dean. I knew you were listening, so I wanted to make sure I got you. All right, let's start at the top, and if I just have your suffix, you know who you are. You can go ahead and I'll fill in the call as we go. So we're going to start with, let's see, we'll start with N9WQ, a station Yankee Romeo, Steve, K0SF, Kevin, WA1JUJ, Jeep, K3HVT, K3HVG, UD, NR station, KE9U, and then KK1K, and then you can send it over to Gary, K0UVW, down to Marty, KK4RF, and then Marty, send it back to me and I'll just go over the list at the top again. That will probably be the best way to go. So, with that, N9WQ, take her away. This is KD3HT.
K0VUW is still in here.
WQ here. And
Yeah, we'll get you, Gary.
32B1 this morning, 75A1 receiver, B104 and you've got a beautiful signal coming in here to find the left this morning. I've been listening along on the SDR as well, so I've been hearing all the one-landers, and everybody sounds great. Hope everybody's having a wonderful holiday. Currently about 46 degrees here in sunny, beautiful downtown North Fond du Lac. And thanks for getting me in. I appreciate it. God bless you all. God bless America. And the next station, I think, was a Yankee Radio. I don't remember if that's right or not. I'm getting old and don't remember crap anymore. So whoever is supposed to be next, go ahead and pick it up. Again, thanks for picking me up. This is N9WQ in sunny, beautiful downtown North Fond du Lac. Over.
Gary VUW is still in there too, Steve.
Yep, got him. Yep, station ending in YR. Go ahead.
My name is Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo. I'm located just over the hill from Joe, WA2EJT. I have a couple of brief comments here because I don't know who can hear me. I'm on a rice box today, and I see 7,300. A couple of quick comments on the carbon mic replacement. I would start at looking at schematics of other transmitters that have a very similar input tube as to what you have, and see what they're using for different microphones. I mean, that's trying to, that's what I've done, then I customize it from there. On RFI, especially power line RFI, first, if it's power line problems, be honest. Be very honest with the utility. And what I have done is, if I could find that the power line problem is interfering with commercial radio, especially a sports broadcast, they will do something immediately, whether, in 2 or 3 days. Cam radio, they don't really care about commercial interference that gets their attention. For example, what I did was I called a local utility and said, hey, I noticed that every time the wind blows and this pole shakes a little bit, I gave them a pole, and I told them every time the wind blows and hits that pole, I can't hear the Binghamton Time Jockey baseball game. And that got their attention, and they took care of that almost immediately. Another comment on the 8-meter band. To the heck of it, I answered a call for DX call on 80 meters last night, and with 100 watt sideband, I was able to have a couple of really nice calls with people in Europe. I was kind of shocked with that. So with that, I'll say 73 for the break into the net. This is November 2, Yankee Romeo.
Okay, Joe, thanks. And over to you, Steve, K0SF, KD3HT.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I heard part of Joe's transmission. He kind of faded at the end there, but good morning, Joe. And K0VUW is still in there, Steve. You probably know that. I'll swing it over to Kevin, and I'll let you grab VUW when it comes around again. Good morning. Yeah, nice signals. I had, again, a little trouble with Joe and 2YR, but I'm hearing everybody else on the HRO 60, so somehow, again, those electrons are managing to feed line in about the 16-degree weather into the room and climb up to 3 feet of RG58 into the HRO60. What an amazing feat. So, yeah, everybody's coming in here quite nicely, very quiet. And, man, Steve, what a full house you've got, too. Got a lot of folks in here. The mill rigs are sounding good. Let's see, what's military here? Well, the HRO60s is again in that Coast Guard cabinet, right? So I was in the Army. In fact, I have my tank gunnery award sitting back on the table here, about one of the very few achievements I have earned in my lifetime. I also have a burned out 88 77 sitting on it as well. I don't know what kind of ornament or award that is, but anyways. So there's the mill stuff, and then again I'm on the Collins Clay V3, which I guess isn't so military. And the antenna are the pair of inverted beams. Hopefully blasting more stuff east, you guys, than west. Apex at 100 feet, they're 60 feet apart. West elements tuned as a reflector. Let's see, power line noise. You could just have the power line noise net. All these guys, including myself, could just wax for hours on techniques, but I haven't had a chase. I've been very lucky in knocking on wood there. It's been pretty quiet lately. 160 is noisy. That's always the toughest thing. It can just be so far away. I've chased stuff down 4 miles on 160 and had it fixed. So that's really painful. I don't know. I just went to loop receiving antennas and gave up. It's just so much work to kill sources on 160. I'll just final comment there. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of George, Whiskey 9 Echo Victor Tango, up on Washington Island, up near Door County, Wisconsin. So this is an island off the Door County Peninsula on the northeast tip in Lake Michigan. And he's on the north side of the island, further away from civilization. Well, he claims to have the quietest QTH in the United States. We visited there a couple of times. You don't bring a car, you bring a bicycle, and I would have to agree with George. This is, you don't see any power lines. He faces Lake Michigan. There's nothing to his south. Oh my gosh, I'm sure you can hear a pin drop up there. What a wonderful location for low noise. George has a few, if you've seen his collection, I think he's got a few boat anchors to his name. Quite impressive. All right, I think it goes over to Kevin, WA, good morning. And, Kevin, I look at the your stack picture, and it just brings back nightmares from the my Army days. It makes me think I'm looking at my M577 supply track with a bunch of broken radios in it. So, Kevin, that picture is just my nightmare. WA1JUJ, K0SF, over.
K0SF, WA1JUJ. Okay, fine, Steve. I've been thinking about updating that picture a little bit, so things have moved around a lot, but I comment. It's about 35 degrees in western Mass right now. The precipitation has not started here. They're saying it's going to be snow and then changing over to freezing rain and sleet. But I don't know. I think it's warming up faster than they said, so maybe we'll get all rain here. On the ICOM 746 again, everybody pretty well. Some a little bit down here the noise, but good morning to everyone. I won't hold it here too long because it's a big group that you got here, Steve. So I'll pass it right down to you, Chief. A3HBG from WA1JUJ.
Okay, Kevin, real good. WA1JUJ and the old military radio net. K3HVG Jeep in Frederick, Maryland. I'm on commercial gear again today, the 1000D and L4B. Reason is I'm still expecting Ted to call in one of these mornings. I talk to him every week or so and remind him to give a call, when he's en route to his treatment on Saturday morning. And still waiting, so I hope springs eternal. I'm copying everybody pretty good. Joe Yankee Romeo was kind of light. Steve, you're 20 over. Dean was way up there. Kevin, you're doing a pretty good job too. And Steve out in Zero Land doing just fine. And for no good reason at all, Kevin, did you qualify on a 90 millimeter tube or a 120 millimeter tube? Probably it was a 90, I would guess. I don't. Maybe you were with M1As. I don't know. Anyway, long story on that. Kind of quiet here. Temperature outside is. It says 35, but when I took the dog out, I think it was closer to 40. I didn't think the pre-dawn dip was quite that much, but that's what the indoor-outdoor says. Other than that, no big military projects. Still looking around for another Q5er for the VC-348. Other than that, just glad to be here. We wish everyone the top of the holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever your persuasion is. And with that, Dean, I guess we'll turn it up to you. KK1K and the old military radio net, K3HVG. Go ahead, sir.
Let's send it to Mike WU2D first. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. Yeah, we want to cut Dean off there. KK1K. Get in line. This is WU2D, Mike in Manchester, New Hampshire. And let me say good morning to everybody. It sure is good to hear everybody this morning, and beautiful band conditions. Fantastic group of guys. Running the AR-213 this morning, and anxious to give a crack at SAQ. I actually have a receiving setup that I think could hear it this year. I have a large receiving loop that's in the woods with Barry coax out to it, and we're going to see if we can hear that this year. This is the first season that I've had 630 meter capability as well. And I've made quite a few contacts on 630 meters with good old CW. So let me send it back to net control, because now I really don't know who it goes to. WU2D.
Okay, Mike, no problem. Station ending NR, and then Jerry, KE9U, and then Dean, KK1K. So station ending NR, go ahead. All right, nobody knows. He doesn't know who that is. So Jerry, down to you, and then over to Dean, KE9U, KE3HT. Still used to the gas man.
Hey, Steve, okay. Everyone still calls me the gas man. That's all right. Yeah, good morning to you. Pretty decent signal here. Good morning, Perry. Thanks for the relay. And I think it probably is Steve. I just missed it. When he did, I was trying to get my attention to paper, and I still missed rotation. So I'm glad you said give it back to you, because I think it was Kate. I didn't quite get it written down. Looking at good morning, doll. Can't talk radio net. I haven't had my coffee yet. I think by now I'd have that done first, wouldn't I? Anyway, 42 degrees here, 44 for a high, and rain this morning. It's getting cold again. I'm on a home brew. It's Hey, good morning, Dad, too. Big signal here. Good to hear you back. And I didn't know you were having such noise trouble, so glad to hear you in a nice spot. This is an old, used to be a Range or two. It's totally recombobulated, so it's really more of a mini homebrew now. Reactor chokes and pretty much a little mini broadcast rig and feeding that into that pair of 3500s. I took down the inverted L. It's 160-meter doublet down, 264 foot, so I don't quite have the open wire all the way back to the shack. It's feeding into an 1.25 inch hard line and receivers and R390, so that's the only military thing I got here, but I'm getting like it. I'm pretty much well, no, he said he has quite a bit of stuff unpacked, but I'm getting down to just a couple of things here. Actually, one. And we're going to have a slop bucket rig here soon, but yeah, pretty much put myself down to a single item, keeping it simple. Hopefully nothing breaks, then I have to work on before I get on here again. Anyway, Steve, thanks for running the net. Doing a great job, and I guess Ted must be doing a little bit better. He's able to possibly get on the air from his, a place to the sides now. So I'm hearing more and more of ones in that situation. They're being more accommodating to ham radio, which is real nice. Letting our old folks that's been on the air for so many years now quit. Roger in 9BZ, he went, him and his wife passed, and they were very happy to help him out to get his antenna stuff set up to his room, and a local house came out with that, but I think mainly just to come to him. It's pretty nice that they're doing that. KD3HT, back to you, Steve. Thanks again. This is Jerry, Greenwood, Indiana, and the old military radio.
WA1 Henry, LR.
Yep, got you, Tim. Yeah, it's, for the last few years I've been hearing that, Jerry, and places are willing to try to, get an antenna up or something for people, but usually there's a lot of noise at those type of places, so it doesn't make it easy, but it gives them an opportunity to get on the air, which is nice, and do something other than watch the boob tube. So, Dean, why don't you take it, and then you can turn it to Tim, and then Tim can go back to Gary, K0VUW, and then to Marty, and then Marty send it back to me, and I'll start up at the top. Go ahead, Dean. KK1K in the group, KD3HT.
KW1I.
Okay, real fine. KD3HT doing a good job marshaling the troops this morning, Steve. And this is KK1K. Handle is Dean Dog Easy Alpha Nan, located northwestern Vermont in Milton, just north of Burlington, Vermont. It's about 28 degrees here. There is some snow in the forecast. First job this morning is put the plow on the front of the truck. So that'll be we've had a little snow, but not enough to plow. But this storm could turn either way, and if I prepare properly and get the plow on the front of the truck, why it won't snow at all. Running the T3 this morning, listening on the R390, hearing really most stations very, very well. Steve, when you mentioned about George W9EVT and his station on Washington Island, I had met him out at Dayton quite a few years ago, and he'd give me a little card which showed him sitting in an operating position in all of this gear behind him, and I pulled that thing out, and wow, what a batch of stuff. So with all that equipment and all the quiet operating conditions there, it doesn't get any better than that, I guess. It's pretty quiet here. We have had some problems with people, and even quite a long ways from our home here,
putting up these solar panels and having the inverters there just make a racket. But that's the area that noise is in is very limited, and we've found ways of working around it, mostly up in the 60-meter band. So we enjoyed a pretty quiet area here. We're out in the weeds. Someone said, "Oh yeah, you got the house out in the middle of the meadow." So we're quite a ways from noise generating stuff, underground utilities and all. So, but every once in a while we get a little noise here, but for the most part it's pretty quiet. So I'm not going to hold it too long. Just my comment to Gary out there in Greenwood, Indiana. It sounded like you were whispering this morning with a tremendous amount of carrier. I struggled picking up all the words there. I don't know, maybe you might want to turn the gain up a little bit one way or the other. So with that, I'm going to pass it up to you, Tim. Before I do that, I just want to wish the best Christmas greetings to everyone on frequency. And I don't think we'll be here next Saturday, but we look forward to getting back and yakking with the group, if not before the end of 2021, well, for the next season, 2022. So, Steve, thanks again for net control activities, and we'll be here through the balance of the net. So, WA1HLR, go ahead, Tim. This is KK1K in the Milrad net.
Okay, Dean, very good. KK1K in the old military radio net. This is WA1HLR on the TCS set. I had this thing set up on 160 for a while, and I've been listening in since the net started. I got up kind of early, and I'm about ready to probably head back to bed. Well, I figured I'd jump in here. A big group wanted to say hey to everybody. And there was some guy in there asking about a carbonium microphonium on a TCS set. Well, not using a carbonium microphonium here. It's very, very simple. You just, use a small audio amplifier, and a low impedance audio source. And, good audio going into it, and it's amazing what the TCS stock one can do. This one is not stock. I've made a lot of changes to it, but still. Yep. And I've got a couple of carbonium microphoniums. I just use them as punishment devices. But that's a whole other thing. Yep. Electrical noise has always been a problem. Not so bad here now. Over the years, things have gotten a lot better, but there still is excuse me, a certain basic noise floor to deal with. And I'm thankful that most of the time it's very low here. And that guy George, I think I've seen photos on the internet. Never heard of him here. All right gear, and I don't think he's active, at least on AM. So I'll be listening in here for a little while. I think it goes to K0VUW from WA1H and LR.
Okay, very good. Nice to hear you this morning. Got a good signal in the Wildwood. And okay on the noise. This is Gary, South America Radio Yankee. QTH is Wildwood, Missouri. And I'm out, have some property, and I've ordered a 22,000-acre wildlife reserve, so I don't have too much man-made noise, but boy, oh boy. And with this antenna high, I'm hearing every little thunderstorm and static crack that exists. We have rain right now. I'm getting a little rain static, I guess, also. It's 35 degrees, rainy, and just a cold that sort of chills your bones, you know what I mean? It's going to be in the 20s the rest of the week. Anyway, good morning to Steve and just everybody. Too many guys to say hi to. But it was really rough this morning with the static and thunder and what have you here. So I hope you guys are copying okay. Hope BC 610 Charlie sounds okay. I had hit a part. Replaced about 11 components and a 100 TH and a I can't remember the tube in the 614 of 5Z4s of that and some components there. So modulation was acting up. Hopefully I got it back to going good. Cleaned her all up. Polished off the transformers and everything. So she's looking pretty this morning. Receiver, which is really doing a good job in this static, which you wouldn't think it, is the SX28. It is pulling in very, very good with all this nonsense going on. And let's see here, the antenna's the J-beam. And there you got it. So, sorry we've been a little confused. I think it's KD3HG, I think that's the right name. I heard him say to turn it to me, turn it to, and a static crash came in. I'm really trying to pay attention here, guys. I really am. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be causing frustration. Anyway, happy holidays to everybody and Merry Christmas. I'm a Merry Christmas guy. I still get excited at almost 80 years old. Seeing what I've been good, naughty, or nice. So I hope you guys have a good one. So I apologize. I was turning it the morning before, but you gave me somebody else, and I just couldn't fill it out. So I'll make this my final, and everybody have a great weekend. K0 Victor Uncle Willie, Wildwood, Missouri.
Merry Christmas, Gary. Go ahead, Marty.
KW1I.
Yep.
Sign me out, Steve. W301.
Yeah, very good, Steve. Let's see here, KD3HT. I want to say good morning to everybody on the net. Steve, thank you very much for running the net. And to Gary there in Wildwood, Missouri, the BC610 sounds good. I want to thank Tim, WA1HLR, for the comments on microphones. And I heard Mike, WU2D, in there on his ART13, I believe. I'm thinking Mike is using his modified T17 microphone. And if that's the one you're using there, Mike, with the Electret condenser microphone in it, it sounds real good. So anyway, but Steve, I got to run. I have to take my son to the train station up in Newport News here. I got to leave here in about 2 minutes. So I'll say 73s and Merry Christmas to everybody on the net. And so Steve, I'll send it back your way, and thanks for running the net, Steve. You've got a great signal. And again, Merry Christmas to everybody. So over to KD3HT in the old military radio net. This is KK4RF.
W1GTX.
Yeah, there's another station that checked in there. Your call again? Missed it. One more time?
W1GTX.
I'm going to get you and Dale. I'm going to put you guys at the bottom, but we'll get to you in a minute. You're a bit high on frequency, so my sync detector couldn't get up there quick enough. Sorry about that. All right, we'll go through the top of the list first. Everybody's been waiting for a while. We'll start with Perry, just in case he's still listening. I know he said he's checking out. And then Brian is out of there, so Joe's out of there. Then we go to Glenn, Jim, KN4XG. Charlie said he was out.
Ed, K8EWM, Chris, AJ1G, and then we'll go down to Dale and pick up Paul. So with that, Perry, are you still there for one more?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my kid's awake. That's why I had to run. I wasn't being impatient, I promise. I get my kids awake. But real quick, all I wanted to do, I just wanted to tell Glenn, check your email. M1SNG Glenn, yeah, check your email. I sent you, put together some stuff for you, buddy. Hopefully it helps you. So let me know. And Steve, thanks for running the net, man. Very busy net this morning. God, lots of check-ins. I stopped writing it down because there's at least 20. Good morning to Timmy, Steve, SF. I can't remember all who checked in. All the regulars are here, and a bunch of new faces too, man. So real good stuff. W3MMR here, right outside of Philadelphia. Name's Perry with a P. Just on my SDR this morning. Back to you, Steve. Or up to Glenn, excuse me. And Steve, again, thanks for running the net, buddy. Great job. N1SNG in the old mill red net, W3MMR.
Yeah, W3MMR and KD3HT. Okay, Perry, thanks. I will definitely investigate the email there. And always past and present. Thanks for your help. Oh, everybody. You know, as time marches on, the power line interference, it's not an easy fix. And but when it does hit you, hang on, because you're at the mercy of other sources, higher powers. But yeah, quite a list in here. Geez, I think you got a record down here, Steve. Thanks for running the net here, and you know, as soon as I get things figured out here, we'll try to jump back in. You know. Doing a great job. A very good morning to Jeep, Tim, and so on, and Marty. All beautiful signals in here this morning. I was just playing around with some antennas here, and 60 meters and 160 meters. The noise levels are almost undetectable. Go to 75. Bang! It just it's whining along like a Dremel tool. That's exactly what it sounds like. So, anyway. We'll say 7-3 is Merry Christmas to all. Where it applies. So, I think Jim is still with us. KN4XG. Over to you, Jim.
Yeah, N1SNG and the fabulous Old Military Radio Net. My goodness, it sounds fabulous today, and it's great to hear everyone aboard. I'd like to begin by saying that there's no cause for alarm. The lava lamp is energized and the red matter is flowing. Now, I know there's been a lot of interest in the top-of-the-line, highly classified, top-secret military equipment that I'm running here today, and then we've discussed it earlier this morning, about an hour ago. I gave the rundown, and I'd just like to say to all interested parties, you know, this is classified equipment built with alien technology captured in Roswell, New Mexico. However, I've decided to share the information with the Old Military Radio Net. So, if you will just find my address on QR Zipper and send $20 with a stamped self-addressed envelope, I'll be happy to send you plans including theory of operation for the dimensional discontinuator and schematics